Hey, Justin Popovich here. Thanks so much for joining me. I have an awesome presentation, guest speaker for you today, Mr. Derral Eves. Derral, are you there?
I am, Justin. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent, and I'm super excited. Just before I hit the record button for the people that are on here live, I was just telling everybody how I met you in May at the Exposure and Profit event from Kelly in Toronto, and loved your talk. It was awesome. I think I made it onto your highlight reel, actually, your little demo
You
video. So
did, actually.
I was one of the guys ranting and raving because I was all motivated and fired up like a Tony Robbins conference. And I went on and told everybody how awesome Derral was. But then I was like, I got to get this guy on to do one of my webinars. So here he is. And Derral, I don't have an intro because I just wanted to literally get right into it. I've basically told everybody before this what they need to know, that you're one of a small handful of YouTube certified people, and you've been responsible for over 1 billion collective YouTube views. So you know a thing or two about video marketing. Having said all of that and set the bar really high, I'm going to pass it over to you and just let us get diving right into what you're going to share with us today.
Well, fantastic. Everyone, thank you so much for having me on. Justin, thank you for letting me come and speak to your audience here. And that's honestly one of the highest honors that I have, is when I'm able to address different audiences from there. And so I definitely won't waste your time. I think time is extremely valuable. But what I'm going to promise you in this presentation is that there's going to be a lot of information. So I would assume there's going to be a replay, but I would literally pull out a notebook and take some notes. It might be something I say or something that comes to you, and look for those golden nuggets. And I'm going to actually talk about some fundamental things that people just don't do and understand. And if they would just do it, they would be successful. So to know me, in more detail, you definitely need to know what my motivation is in life. My motivation comes through a few things. Actually, my 5 kids and my amazing wife, and I just love life. I love being by them, and spending time with them, and that's what I'm about. So just keep that in mind as I do the presentation, and everything else will make sense. So today we're actually going to talk about content marketing. Believe it or not, I know that Justin was saying, hey, it's like harnessing the power of YouTube. But we're actually going to break down content marketing, because it's all about fundamentals of getting your message out. Because marketing is everywhere. Everything that we do is marketing. Everything that we present is marketing, and we just need to understand it. Where I'm going to actually focus in on during this presentation is content marketing with video. And very specific things of using video to build a brand or your exposure or to convert with sales. And we'll just kind of talk about leveraging the power of YouTube and drive massive traffic, generate leads, convert with video. So basically, that's what the presentation is going to be about. But keep it in mind with content marketing, because that's where it's about. Now, Justin said, I am definitely YouTube certified. Here's some of my clients that I've done work for or currently do work for. I couldn't put all of them on there. I'm sorry, there's a lot. The list kind of goes on. Here's just some that you might be familiar with, and so on. However, as Justin said, I've helped generate over 1 billion views, and of those 1 billion views, that's one thing. Getting a view is one thing. What's more difficult, believe it or not, is getting subscribers. And I've been able to help put in place plans and actions to get over 14.8 million subscribers for my clients and myself. And that is a feat and a half from there. And that's something that I'm more proud about. Billion views is, you could have one viral hit or 2 viral hits or whatever, and go from there. But have sustainable viewership through subscribers. That's where I'm super proud.
And
So,
Daryl, I just got to
um,
say, uh, one thing that I love about your story in terms of the views that you're getting is your personal channel, where you're teaching people like myself and everybody on the line here today. This is business education, and that's really hard to get a ton of views on those type of videos. I've seen hundreds, probably even more, maybe thousands of people try this, and I've never seen anybody get as many views as you do on business related tips. Yeah, funny videos and babies laughing and dogs doing things is one thing, but you actually did it for business. That blows my mind. So I'm really looking
well,
forward. I
and
thought that
you
was
got to
worth
understand, I'm
recognizing.
going to definitely give you my formula. And there's several ways, several types of videos. We'll kind of break down into it. I do have to put this disclaimer in. One of my first YouTube clients that I had, is the piano guys, and they equate to about I'm sorry, 3.1 million subscribers and just over a half a billion views, just under a half a billion views. And they've been a very, very fun client. And realistically, I love clients like this that have all the potential. They just need the exposure. And that's kind of what I'm looking for, of really helping people that can change the world, and they want to do that through music. But let's switch gears. I mean, enough about me. Let's just dig right down into it. This is where you want to pull your notebook out, because I literally go quick. And if you have questions, put them in the chat. Okay, so the first thing is a revolution actually happened when the radio came out. And the radio was a very powerful medium, and it was able to do a lot of things. It was able to disseminate information very quickly over broad areas, and people would look forward to that. They'd actually spend time around as a family and listen to the radio and get the latest news, sports, everything. And this is an important thing, especially in the world, because it started to make our world a little bit smaller. Like, we could find out what's happening in New York just in moments where it would take weeks before to get I guess the telegram would get them a little bit quicker, but as news would come. But this was immediate. This is immediate news, now breaking news type things. And then television actually came around, and television was another place where people would congregate around a TV and watch different episodes of sitcoms and things to be entertained and news and so on. And it basically, for years, that's the way it was. They had sponsors and advertising, and only a handful of networks. Well, what happens is a lot of people try to take what was done with radio and what was done with TV and try to put YouTube into it, and they fail horribly. They really do, because they don't understand what type of audience it is. So, like right now, we're on a webinar. I would do this completely different if we were posting this on YouTube. This would be a different presentation because of the style of audience. Where this is a webinar, you're used to a lot of the things that we're actually discussing. So, when it comes to radio, when it comes to TV, it basically is changing the way that we actually do it. We need to understand a little bit about the audience that's looking at YouTube. And it comes back down. This picture pretty much tells us what it is. Technology is growing more personal. How many of you right now, I want you to put this in the chat right now, how many have your cell phone within 5 feet of you? Just put it in the chat. And if you don't have a cell phone, if you have an iPad or some type of device that you can get on there. Sean's being honest. He says, me, of course. Everybody's laughing. It says, okay, that was dumb. Of course, we're all there. But no, I want you to understand, it's that technology is personal. What you have on that technology is very personal to you. Okay, what do you have on there? You've literally consolidated your whole life into an electronic device. You have your Rolodex. You have, who even knows what a Rolodex is? But you have your Rolodex, your contacts. You have a way to get on the internet to your groups, and getting on Facebook and Pinterest and watching videos and listening to music. And literally, it is the center of all your personal things that are going on. And people use it as a diary, and they record video and take pictures. Okay. The whole thing is, you need to understand the type of audience that we're dealing with. And this is an audience that I think everyone needs to understand where the world's at. And this is where people that I've dealt with, and I've consulted with these guys, they don't understand the audience of today, okay, which are, they're super hyper engaged. You know what? They're not afraid to put their comments and leave a Yelp review, or they're not afraid to, put a hashtag and have a discussion and go right through it. They're hyper engaged. They're able to repin, repost, and share. Okay. They're also highly connected. And what I mean by that is, they're always connected to the device. The device is always connected to things, but yet they're, for social, they're connected with each other. And it's really important that you understand that, hey, they're connected. This could either go good or bad for us. Okay. And how are they connected is another thing. But they always crave, two-way communication. And honestly, even though that TV truly wants to get them to have two-way communication by using social media, like you'll see a hashtag on a TV show now. They want that two-way communication. It really doesn't work, because what happens is you actually have executives that say, this is what you guys want. Okay. Instead, today's audience says, this is what I want. And if you don't provide it, I'll find someone that does. Now think about what I just said. And it's all about the user. The user is in more control now than ever before, and it's because of the technology that's there. And users are in control of what they see. Now, let me give you an example. Here's a client of mine, Red Bull. They're actually in my neighborhood this week. They have a little thing called Red Bull Rampage. And I want to kind of explain to you some common mistakes that people think and have. Okay, now where I live in southern Utah. And I'm just miles away from Zion National Park. This is literally my backyard. And I see this every day. I love where I live. And in fact, people come all around the world to travel and go into the different, on top of the different peaks and take the different trails. Well, at Red Bull, they want to ride their mountain bike down the hill. Look at this. This guy is literally going completely down the hill. It's nuts. And that's what they're actually doing this weekend. Is they're competing, some freestyle mountain biking down the hill, which is nuts. Now, where we're on a webinar, I can't really show the best video. It might be a little skippy and choppy, so the presentation is not going to be as good, but I can make my point from it. So if you're looking at this right here, you can see my house is literally right down here. This is where my house is at. This is only about 3 or 4 miles from me. I want to explain to you the difference between TV and YouTube or online video. Okay, so here we have, this is last year, and one of my clients, NBC, has a broadcast that they put on. They'll actually record it in September. They release it in November. It's really highly produced. There's cameras all over the board. They had 40 different cameras that was rolling for this event, and this is what it produced. So let me make sure that my volume's up, and I'm going to go ahead and hit play.
Lean on the drop. No! She's back! Oh my God! McGarry landed a backflip.
Okay, so you had commentators, you had multiple camera angles, you have everything that's going on, and that's like traditional hardcore TV. I mean, hey, you're trying to get them a part of the event and let them really experience it. Now, I'm going to show you the same amount of footage, but how YouTube and online video is supposed to be distributed. Okay, same video. Okay.
Wow, that
Now,
was way better.
it changes, it totally changes the approach, and users are able to experience something with online video that they don't experience in TV. Did you feel that, Justin? I mean, you could
Oh,
see
that
the
was
difference.
it was way better. This stuff gets me excited because my kids love watching stuff like this. Hopefully not too much because I don't necessarily want them doing it, but oh yeah, it's way better when you feel like you're there. You feel like you're on the bike with them.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing. So yeah, GoPro did a great job on this one promoting it, and great thing. And Kelly McGarry, I mean, that was a backflip, and there's a point that I'm like, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. You can literally see the clip where it goes down,
I
and
know,
he makes it.
crazy.
And ultimately, everyone just needs to understand that online video is not TV. Don't treat it like TV. Don't even try to do it. There's a lot of people, well, I got all this content I want to repurpose. Well, you can't do it. It's not the same medium. And so let me give you some just very boring things about YouTube. This is just kind of my mandatory thing. Number one is they're the #2 search engine in the world, okay? And they're actually transforming the way that we actually discover information. And ultimately, YouTube, today, like right now, today, there's going to be 82 million Americans that are going to watch 1.6 billion videos. Think about that for a second. 182 million Americans, okay, that doesn't take in the people that live in Canada or Mexico or Brazil. Brazil's huge with videos, or Indonesia, just Americans alone, okay? And think about that. That is huge. Also, I want you to take a look at this too, is this month, 188 million Americans are going to watch 265 videos per person. Now, I want you to disseminate that just a little bit, because this is the type of people that we're actually dealing with. Hey, we're consuming content, you know, and you have 188 million Americans that are going to watch 265.
So
Now,
like
that's
eight or nine videos a day. You know, that's not a stretch, really, when you think about it.
yeah, and the whole thing about it is it's totally changing the face of what we do. Now, my per capita, I consume a lot more video than my mom does, but believe it or not, my mom does consume a lot of videos. She'll watch 4 or 5, if not 6 or 7 videos a day. You know,
Wow.
and my dad's even worse, because he likes to. That's where he gets his content. He doesn't have.
What do they watch? Just curious.
My dad, like he'll do some Netflix, of course, but on YouTube, it's all, you know, news channels and sports channels that, you know,
Okay,
will
so
give him
they're not watching like the pranks where the dog was
no,
dressed like a
not at all.
spider and stuff like.
Not at all. Not at all. And my mom might get something that's inspirational and then
Yeah,
repost it, you know, but that's
very
kind of
nice.
kind of the way that is. So understanding this, YouTube's actually bigger than Bing, Yahoo, Ask, AOL combined. You know, they're getting more than 1 billion unique users to visit youtube.com every month, not to watch videos, but to actually go to youtube.com every month. That's what they're getting. And there's 6 billion hours of videos being viewed every month. That's an increase, over 50% increase over year after year. Now, I want you to look at this one. This one's really, really important, especially with what you're doing. According to Forbes, the information was, you know, if the information was presented in text or video, 68% of the executives would rather watch the video. Now, you might say, why? You know, well, number one, they can speed it up. They can speed it up and consume a lot more. They can do it in multiple areas like that. But you need to ask that question: why are they more apt to do that? And also, 72% of the users are more likely to buy a product after watching a video. People doing research: 80% of users recall a video that they viewed in the past 30 days, and it's a video ad, not just a video, but a video ad. Think how important that is. Okay, landing page are 800% more conversions with a video, of course, and it's a proper video, not just one that you just throw up there. And also, video content is shared on an average 1,200% more times than links. Okay, and why? Because it's engaging and so on. Emails with videos, you know, saw a higher open rate. You know, so
Hey,
today
Derral,
what I'm going to.
can I interrupt you really quick?
Yeah,
Just that one
please.
about landing pages. Do you know, you may not have the numbers on this, but do you have a feel for, you see a lot of those video landing pages or video sales letters where it's some random person's voice speaking over slides with text, but then you
Yep.
also have people that are courageous enough to get on the camera and actually speak about their product. Uh, I'm assuming option two converts a lot better, but do you know offhand?
It actually depends on what your goal is.
Okay.
If you're trying to connect to an expert that does multiple reviews, you know, if it's the person talking about it, it's going to connect more. If you're looking to do a quick sell, the whiteboard video might work better.
Okay.
You know, it really depends on what we're doing, and we'll actually go through that. Believe it or not, it's one of the things that we're actually going to cover.
Oh, awesome.
So what I want you to do is I'm going to give you my 8 things that I ask before getting started with any content marketing. Okay, I don't care if it's video, I don't care if it's blogs, I don't care if it's anything. These are things that I actually ask, and when my clients hire me, I ask them these questions because I need to know the answers to this before I can actually proceed to produce any content. Because it's all about content marketing, and you need to understand. So, question number 1: why are you going to make content? Why are you going to spend money and time to make content? So, why are you going to do it? And I always like to drill down a little bit deeper. You know, what is the purpose behind it? I need to know what the end goal or the end result of that. Now, you might have different purposes for different type of content, but you need to make sure that every piece of content has a specific purpose, okay? And the purpose may be, building awareness. Maybe you want to just build brand awareness or awareness on whatever it may be, and that's the purpose of the content. You might, want to change the influencing or influencers and have them start considering different things. I have a client right now that spends a lot of money, they're a nonprofit, to change policy through education. So they educate people on certain policies so that they can change, they can influence change. Okay, another one is probably one of the bigger ones that most people do, driving online or offline sales. That's the purpose of their content. That's what they're looking to do. Or, they're trying to create more loyalty from there. And it all comes back down to these things of the purpose of making content. And whether it's, building awareness or building a brand or, creating a list, whatever it may be, you're literally needing to look what type of content that you're making. The second thing I always look at is who's your competition? Who's actually competing with you for the same people, okay? And you put your list of competitors down, and my whole thing is you'll be quite shocked that they're not necessarily competitors, but they can be collaborators. And if you look at it in a certain way, like you're like, oh no, well no, they're totally taking my market. Well, I don't believe that. I really don't. You need to have a unique value that you offer. There might be some similarities, but you might be able to find a way where you can both do a win-win. And there's some great things on it. And honestly, it's why I'm on the call today, is because Justin says, hey, I got people that are interested in video marketing. I says, okay, let's do it. I could view him as competition, say, oh no, you're taking everything there. Or he could view me as competition, but realistically, it's not that case. But you need to identify who you would consider competition, and maybe they're not necessarily competition. I'll kind of get to that in a second. Okay, so the next one. Who are you trying to reach with your content? Who are the individuals that you're trying to reach for that specific content? What's some stuff that's on them? There's a lot of people that says, oh, you're going after a target avatar, customer avatar. I'm not. I'm thinking about this one right here. I want you to think about something different. I want you to think about a target audience. It's much more broader. Okay, these are the type of people, and you want to think global. Don't think local by no means. Okay, so who you're trying to reach, and we'll narrow it down. You'll narrow it down as you produce content and you make certain content that would resonate. Okay. Moving on to the next. Who's your core audience? And what's your target demographic? Now you might say, hey, that's really similar to what you just talked about before. I'm like, no, it's literally narrowing it down, because you're like, okay, here's our core audience or our target audience, but yet here's some of the target demographics, and the target demographics can completely change. Believe it or not, we're in a global society, and people consume content even if they don't understand English, because of some technologies that they can actually get some translation really quick. I have a lot of subscribers that are in India and Indonesia. It's a worldwide market. Now you want to treat someone in Indonesia a little bit differently than someone in Canada or the United States, because you might have different offerings for them, and you need to keep that in mind as well as you're growing that. But you also want to, for now, we want to just call basically everyone consumers, so it's just easier for me to give this discussion. So everyone's consumers, whether they're consuming your content or they're consuming your product, okay, which you've sold them or what have you. Okay, so the next question that I always ask is, what value will your content add for your consumers? Okay, and you need to make sure that you view your target audience, your target avatar, and also the people that are actually just going to consume the information that you're providing. Okay, and you need to understand that value, and the value is very, very important. This is where you want to take extremely good notes. Okay, because there's only 3 types of value when doing content marketing, believe it or not, just 3. Can anyone guess what those 3 are? Just take a guess. Put it in the chat. Say, Derral, this is what I think. Now, you might have something that you thought of that I haven't done. But this is through a lot of research and not any of mine that I've done personally, but this is going through a YouTube and learning and going through their process, and they've put a lot of things that's there. So we have some people that are brave and put their little things in there. The first one, and these are not in order, is to inspire. Now think about that for a second. If you have a video that you watched, or you have a blog post that you read, or even a comment in a blog post that inspires you, what are you going to do?
Share it.
You're going to share it. And who are you going to share it with, Justin?
Well, I guess it depends on the context with it, but usually all of my friends anyway, sometimes even customers.
Yeah, I mean that you nailed it, because it comes back down to you're going to share it with the people that it's relevant to. You'll share some content with your family that you wouldn't share with your list.
Right.
You'd share something with your list or your clients that might be different than what your family gets. So you're going to actually give content who you think is going to be the best for, right? Because you found value in it, and you're able to inspire. So the next one is to educate. So Kim put down education.
Yeah, Kim and Sean,
Yeah.
Sharon, Tom,
Yeah.
Charlie nailed it.
Sharon, yeah, we got some great stuff to educate, and education can be multiple things. Now, here's the funniest thing that I've ever seen is I have 4 boys and a girl, and I go into my room and my son just ripped apart his iPod. I mean, just completely ripped it apart.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, what are you doing? And I look over in the corner and it's YouTube. He wanted to replace something, and he didn't ask me, hey Dad, how do you do this? He just went on YouTube and was being educated. And we live in a totally different world where we have education at our fingertips. We have lectures to tutorials to everything. I mean, there's tons of educations, okay? Tons. Now, the next one is to entertain, okay? So here is your content. Sharon definitely had the answer to all 3 of them. But it's to inspire, educate, and entertain, and that's where it's at. Now, here's the thing. If you've ever watched any of my videos, I try to educate and be entertaining at the same time, because I've seen some pretty dry tutorials, and that's what makes me a little bit different than those that would consider, competitors. They're just giving you information. I'm trying to connect with you on a different level. One was properly tagging. Justin says, hey, I sent that out to, my people to get them on the webinar. But, for me, it's all about pulling in and giving you the great, honest information, and then pulling you a little bit into my lives. At the end of the video, there was a little thing to get people to subscribe. It was cute, and it got a lot of subscribers from that. But it's just more bringing it in. Hey, this guy's different. You can look at it that way as well. But the value that you offer through content, just keep this in mind before you even write a blog post, before you even record a video, before you even do anything as content. You need to look at these things and say, which one of these does it come under? And maybe it might come under all 3. But if you have a better idea of what you're trying to do, it will definitely have a higher probability to have the highest honor, which is to convert. Okay, what I mean by that is any call to actions will convert into people doing things, whether it's liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, buying a product, whatever it may be, and that's super, super, super duper powerful. Okay,
And it's
so let's move
amazing.
on.
Sorry, Derral, just to kind of chime in. It's amazing how, for the last 5, 7 years, if you have a question about something, or my wife would always come to me, how do you do this? My answer was Google it. Now, a lot of the time I say YouTube it, because you get better information. Even my kids, my 7-year-old is like one of those kids that has a million questions, never stops asking questions. This morning he wanted, for whatever reason, to know how to make ice cream. So I said, go get my iPhone and do voice activation on YouTube, how to make ice cream. And he knew how to do it before he went to school today.
Yeah, And I'll be honest with you. I wish I would have grew up in today's society because when I went, the Apple II came out. You know, when I was in third grade, the Apple IIe is when our school actually got the computers. They came out a little bit earlier, but this is 1983. I touched my first computer, and I wanted to consume that thing. And the teacher's like, Derral, you cannot touch it. You will hit the keys when I tell you to hit the keys. And she's like, okay, class, everybody hit the D key. And we'd hit the D key. And I was just like pounding on the keyboard. And they're like, stop it, Derral. I'm the teacher. You will listen to me. You will hit the D key and then the F key and then the G key. And for me, I'm like, no, I want to consume it. I want it as fast as I possibly can. I want to take that thing. Well, before you know it, at the end of the day, I was putting my nose in the corner because I wouldn't follow instructions that I had to do this. And all I could hear is, Derral, I'm the teacher. You need to listen to me. Now, I'm the teacher. You have to do this. And so for me, and just a short story of why I wish I lived in, was growing up in today. But I went home, and my friend's dad actually had an Apple IIe and had a programming book. And if you remember those Apple IIes, they actually had a boot drive and then your application that you'd have. So it'd have two disk drives. Your boot drive would be your operating system. And I learned a thing or two about programming when I was 8 years old, and I actually programmed my first boot drive. And I went back and had one of my friends kind of distract the teacher, and I switched out her boot disk. And she's like, okay, class, let's turn on our computers. And then dong, you wait 5 minutes for it to boot up. And she goes, okay, class, now let's hit the D key. And she hit the D key, and across her screen it says, now who's the teacher? Now who's the teacher? Now who's the teacher? And the whole thing about it is I got kicked out of school.
That's awesome.
For a week. But honestly, that's what it comes back down to is like your son, he wants information now. He wants to consume it now. This information is personal. We want to learn, we want to grow, and we want it accessible. How law is now has totally changed because of computers. You don't have to have a whole library of books. You can search really quickly on an iPad. And you can get all the information that you need to pull in a lot more. So you're able to do a lot more, learn a lot more, and that's just the society that we live in. So. But anyway, yeah, and Kim's like, I can relate. I used to do program with my dad all the time in DOS. That's awesome.
Yeah, me too.
So let's go back to my 8 things. The 6th thing is, what is your core message or your tone for your content? So, there's a lot of people that have a specific tone for a review. They're being very objective, and they might say, oh, I'm looking at all sides, and bring in other things. Or they might just be a rant. It might be a rant and say, oh, I can't believe this, 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 and this, and this. And yet that's the core message. That's the tone that they're taking, and it resonates with people. You got to realize that the tone will resonate with the content that you're delivering with a certain group and a certain audience. You just got to know who that audience is and what type of tone that they're actually looking for. If I'm not working with a huge corporation, I'm working with an individual, my thing for this is just be yourself. However you would react that way. And you'll attract an audience and viewership and everything from there. But you need to stick with it too in your message. Also, number 7, how are you going to deliver your content to have maximum reach? How are you going to have it be discovered? Justin says, hey, I have Google it. Well, people will find it in Google. They might say, oh, how to delete a Facebook account, and they can see, I have a little video here that people can find, and they'll click on it, and you actually have a higher open rate. You can see that this is even competing with multiple different search results. I'm right under Facebook support, which is, would you rather go read a thing from Wiki, Facebook support, or watch a video? Well, we've had a few people. I think it's up to 700,000 now, but 700 and some odd thousand. This is just a couple days ago when I did this, but we had over 500,000 people would rather watch a video. And you got to figure out, where are you going to distribute it? How is it going to be found? How is it going to be go from there? Now, search engines make it really nice because the discoverability, if somebody's looking on Google, they can find you if you have a few things going for you. Okay. Now, the last thing is, what does success actually look like? I want to know what success looked like so we can actually measure it. Believe it or not, not all the people want to just make money out of it. They might say, hey, you know what, this content, I would like to increase my exposure and people remember my brand. Now think about that for a second. I want you to understand that it can really, really make a difference. And if you know what success is going to look like before you go in, then you're more likely to try different things, and you're not trying to have content that will be the end all do all content. That each specific piece of content has a specific purpose for it that literally will take people through a process for the end goal, which is to make more money, right? Now, with content marketing, I want everybody to know this, that it is my opinion that content marketing, that video is now mandatory. Whatever you're doing, I'm here to tell you that you need to have a video component a part of that. Now you might say, hey, you know what, Derral, my audience doesn't resonate well with video. Well, how do you know? Have you ever really tried really taking it to the next level? I've seen bloggers that have blogged for years and had huge following, and they started a little podcast, just a little teeny podcast, and they have a further reach and make a huge difference because they've actually changed their content. They can talk more, they can interact more. It's just not a one-sided thing. Yeah, there's comments that are there, but they can interact more, and it makes a huge difference. And some of them are even taking it to another level where they're doing hangouts and other things like that and making it more engaging. And what they're doing is two things. They're building an audience and making more money. Okay, does that make sense for what we talk about? Is there any questions up to this point? Because I'm going to switch gears here, and we're going to bring in a case study or two. So if you have a question, put it in there. But ultimately, I want you to understand that it does come back down to the purpose of the content, you know, whether it's building awareness, influencing, driving online sales, or growing loyalty. It just comes back down to that of why we're actually making the content. And a lot of people don't give it much thought or time. They just push out content, and that's the reason why they're not maximizing on their reach, is because they have no clue how to really build an audience and make money. They say, oh, I'm just going to push it out, and they'll like it. But if they just give a little bit of thought, just a few minutes of before they'd even write anything or make a video, saying, what's the purpose of this video? How can I get it to, or this blog post, how can I include the elements to fulfill with its purpose? And that's where you'd measure your success. Okay. Justin, do you have any questions?
Well, there was one that came in from Kim, and I love this question because I see it all of the time. In fact, I think a lot of people, either on the call or who watch the recording, will agree or have a similar question. If you do mostly writing, how do you introduce video? A lot of people, for whatever reason, maybe they're a little shy to get in front of the camera or even record their voice. They're just used to typing everything. They write ebooks or they write blog posts. Well, how do they make the change?
You know, and it's all about, I never said that you personally have to be in the video, Kim. I just said that you need to use video, and it's mandatory. So you can actually do it multiple ways. You can actually find videos out there that would relate to the stuff that you write about. However, I would get, to really build and grow an audience, I would really put video as your strategy. So if you're not comfortable with it, let's start to get comfortable, and I'll give you literally the formula that you're going to need to succeed with video. I'm going to give it to you for free. It's not going to cost you anything. You know, and Christian wanted to know what number 7 was. And this, I think number 7 is something that you need to look at. I'm not just the YouTube guy. I actually look at every possible way to deliver my content to have the maximum reach. I just use YouTube as one of the many mediums that we actually use. I put an example that I have coming up is, you know, how are you going to build an audience and make money? And we actually go through it. So what I'd like to do is go through a little case study that I'm pretty happy with. They're the Redhead Express, and so they're 4 sisters that were from Alaska that moved to Tennessee to become country music stars and did everything they possibly could, and then just kind of hit a wall. And they're just hardworking people. You know, they did over almost 2,000 concerts, and so they're always just doing, even if it's for a small amount, you know, they're always there. And so when they came on, and before I even said, hey, you know, I'll take you on as a client, I wanted to know what their target audience was. I says, okay, who's your target audience? And how I define this, and you can do this for blogs too, is who's most likely to watch or read, okay, like, share your content, and comment and subscribe, but most importantly, buy. Now, I want to know that, and I want to see if it resonates with them of who they think their target audience is, and believe it or not, I have met with so-called gurus, and they think that they understand who their target customer or target avatar is, but they have no clue who their target audience is. Now, think what I just said there. They know who their target customer is, but they don't know who their target audience is. And it is two separate things, and we're going to get right into it. Um, the whole thing. Oh, Christian even knows that they're good. Hey, I didn't know that you knew the Redhead Express. That's good. I must be doing my job. So the target audience is completely different than customer avatars. Completely different. Target audience is a global audience. Okay, they could be different nationality. You cannot pigeonhole them into one little thing. Oh, they're white males that are divorced that live in the United States that want to see their kids. No, that's a target or a customer avatar, but a target audience is completely different. And I want everyone to understand that they have similar things that they want. They want information. They want to be entertained. You can do it broad. And the more broad you can get and appeal to a broader market of a target audience, the more action you can see. You can literally break it down where you could have different funnels coming into target avatars or customers and create different funnels for each one of them. And you need to have a total understanding of, what, they have similar concerns, similar solutions, similar message, similar demographics. Yeah, but they're global. So when I was talking with the Redhead Express, and it was with their mom and dad, and it was mostly their dad because they're the managers. I'm like, tell me who your audience is, and he literally says, well, we perform at fairs, festivals, and some concerts, stuff like that, and we really don't know. We don't know who they are, so on and so forth. And I'm like, okay, we got to really, really think about it. And one of the things that I have a skill set is trying to figure out the untapped target audience. Okay, now just think about that for a second. A target audience. Okay, and Redhead Express, you have four sisters that do some great music. They're very talented, but who would resonate the best with them? And I identified three different target audiences. Two I'll share with you. Okay, the first one is redheads. Think about that for a second. There's like 1% of the population. Okay, they instantly feel connected with each other because they know how each other feel. And there's some pretty interesting things. And you might say, okay, that's great. You have the redheads and Redhead Express. That makes it. But I want to prove my point. Okay, I want to prove it here. The next target audience is people that love God, family, country, and music. That's our creed for the Redhead Express. I help them develop that creed because that's the people that we want to resonate with. The songs are going to be about it. Their communication is going to be all about those different things. Okay, so for the first video that we actually released, it was very targeted for the people in the United States because the 4th of July was coming up, and we wanted to kind of ramp up. So we actually were getting ready to build an audience. Now, believe it or not, I'm going to surprise everyone. To build an audience is a lot easier, and it's more preferred to do it on Facebook than YouTube. I would rather build an audience on Facebook and then convert them into subscribers. Okay, and we have different types of processes, but the beginning is let's get some exposure. And the fastest way to get exposure, honestly, with this type of client would be through Facebook. Look what we were able to do. And this only goes to July 24th. I didn't put in today's numbers. Sorry about that, guys. But we were able to take them up to 51,000 views just in less than a month. And you look at this post reach, Justin. Check this out. In one day, we had a post reach of almost 2 million. 2 million. And you look, it's all organic. It's not paid. It has not been paid, but you have the post reach that's there. Isn't that crazy?
So that was 51,000 likes, correct?
That's 51,000 likes on a page. That's correct.
Wow.
And you have it right here. And I have clients that have millions of likes, and their post reach isn't like this. It wasn't 8 million. So in 1 week, we had 8 million post reach. These are unique people that we're reaching for 51,000 likes. Now, that was the 1st of August when I put this presentation together. Today, they have 71,000 likes. Okay. And honestly, we're creating a passionate army that doesn't know that they're army. And I want you to read some of these posts. Now, first off, this post right here, look how many shares.
Wow.
141,000 shares. I've never seen something like this on something as small of a page as this. 141,000 shares. Okay, that's
You rarely see that many shares for anything.
Well, I do.
Well, maybe, yeah, but in general, you
On
don't
this
come
small of
across
a
it that
channel,
often.
yeah, this small of a channel. But I want you to read this, okay? Remember what we're trying to do here with our content marketing, okay? And our content marketing has multiple approaches. Video is just one part of it. This is Brad. I received a lot of bullying when I was growing up, and it was always about my hair color, which is red. It took me years to accept me for me. I spent years of coloring and highlighting, but now it's as red as it can be, and I'm proud of it. I have 4 children, and he goes on to talk about that. Wow.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Okay, check this one out. Now, the top one. It's about time that we're appreciated. These are all things. I love redheads. My favorite one is the bottom one here. Should I dye my hair red? The world could use more roses. But anything like that.
That's great.
So basically,
My 5-year-old's a redhead, so he'll like this too.
yeah. So basically, the goal with anything, with content marketing, is to do what? It's about doing 2 different things: building an audience and making money. Well, we're building an audience. Well, a lot of people don't make money the way that they think they can make money. They think, okay, these girls are super talented, they're musicians, but it costs a lot to hire me. It costs a lot to make videos. It's not cheap, and they're going to need to bring some stuff in. But what if they could find a way to give their target audience what they're wanting, so that they're actually reading or watching, they're liking, they're sharing, they're commenting, they're subscribing, and they're buying? What if we can get them to buy on that? And maybe they don't subscribe yet, but maybe they like and share. You saw the shares on it, but they're going through that process. So honestly, what we did is we took that post and turned it into a t-shirt. Okay? We sold 1,634 t-shirts in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Okay? And what that equated to is about $35,000.
Which I bet that would be a lot of concerts.
Yeah, totally. And the whole thing about it is there's a systematic way of doing it. And I want to kind of talk about my systematic way of doing it, and then I'm going to actually launch into how to actually do video. I know I'm just kind of expanding your mind a little bit. So don't do the traditional things. What I do is I like the viral bait strategy, and this is something that I have developed, but it's been done by a lot of people. I'm the one that termed it the viral bait strategy. But you basically have a YouTube video, and the YouTube video can be about anything. You do not do this on every video. You only do it on strategic videos that you want to collect information from. And by them watching the video, they're already collecting information. You're already collecting information, by the way. And you can utilize that for 540 days. We'll talk about that in a minute. But ultimately, if my goal is to really get someone to buy something, I want to take them through this strategy. Okay, the first thing I want to do is get them to to like us, to appreciate us on Facebook. I do. I really want to pull that information in, because I can do things with that information once they like us, and people are very liberal in liking different pages. Okay, the next thing would be having a strong call to action, which would be liking us or share us on Facebook, share on Twitter, or YouTube sub. That's kind of the procedure that I'll go through, and then I'll move up to, this is all a funnel here, guys, the shopping cart, where if I'm giving away something, I'm able to collect more information. So in this specific case, we're giving away a free MP3 of the song they just heard, and we just take them through the process. All these are optional, by the way, okay, except for this shopping cart. That is not optional. If they want it, they have to actually put in they either have to connect through Facebook Connect, or they have to put in their name and email address to get it. A lot of people put their full address in and phone number. okay, which we automatically add them to an autoresponder, okay, which thanks them for the stuff. We put them on a list, we segment it out. These are the people that actually bought that. We tag it, and then we have a success pixel that's set, and these pixels are something we'll talk about in a second. And then it will go back to the video saying, okay, you know what, share this with your friends. And so we'll create this loop. So I want to explain to you this viral bait strategy, and you can do this for anything. It's basically giving them an offer, you know, a value from that content. Like one of my things is, hey, you know what? I have one video. It says how to get more views on YouTube. Well, it's a 30-minute training, and I'm taking them through this whole process, except they don't go through the shopping cart. We're just gathering information. It sets them up with an autoresponder and so on. But what I'm getting is a YouTube view, a Facebook like, a share, a YouTube subscriber, a name, address, email, opt-in, Facebook post. But most importantly, what I'm getting, and this is the most important thing that you can think of, I don't care what marketing you're doing, this is the most important thing I'm getting, is a list of retarget and remarketing. When I know that if someone watches a video or comes onto a page, I can remarket them and that they're interested in what I'm doing. So let me give you an example of this, where someone comes to your website, reads an article, and because of that specific article, you can now put something in their Facebook feed, news feed, saying, hey, here's some more information on that. Click the buy button.
Oh yeah,
And it
I've
costs you
I've been
pennies.
targeted that way many times, and it works.
It works really well. And if you can set this up, you can literally grow an audience. Um, so Sean's saying, and this is a really good question. Well, Derral, then why have an avatar? If you're talking about, you know, target audience avatars, you definitely want to do this, and I want to tell you why. Because taking them through this process, this is called a funnel. You can literally grow something in a short amount of time, okay? And you can literally snowball it. I've seen all this information collected within 48 hours, almost 70,000. Okay, it's what I call the snowball effect. And Sean, honestly, when it comes back down to it, it is narrowing down the target audience into customer avatars. So there would be one funnel that would resonate really well with one target avatar that wouldn't necessarily work with this target avatar. However, as a whole, they'll like the content, but it only resonate really well with this one specific target avatar. Hopefully that makes sense, because honestly, that's the difference. Is most people says, well, get your avatar first. Well, no. Get your target audience and let the audience decide who they are as you're collecting information. And I have on my specific channel, you know, I have 13-year-olds, and they're like, oh, that's a waste of time. Well, do you know what? I have a funnel for that 13-year-old. 13 to 18-year-old. They're gamers that want to make money on YouTube. I have a product that they can buy for $20. And one day, when they get a little bit more money, who are they going to come to if I give them great quality information and help them through their problems?
Yep.
You know, you can, and they're willing to do it. So ultimately, it comes back down to it. And the major problem that people have is they don't put any planning or strategy in. That you need to literally take time and identify who you're going after, why you're making the video, just those 8 questions that I told you. It's just very, very important. Okay, so any questions on this before I switch gears?
I do. The viral bait thing that you just showed us, that in itself is a sequence of steps. Is that, do you
Yes.
do that once per video, or how would you like how, I want to know
It's
how to do,
only
because
on the
I've seen
videos
you
that
talk about this before, and I want to know how to actually do it
okay, implement it.
step by
It's
step to
only
implement this.
it's only on the videos that that I'm wanting to collect the information. You don't want to do it on everyone. Like
Okay.
I said, it's very strategic. So the purpose of this video would be to build the list, okay? And how am I going to do it? So let's take it for you, and let's move the you know, the information away from a musician so it's not cluttered,
Okay.
okay? Because it can be a lot more simple, okay? So Justin, what are you the most known for? When
Uh,
somebody
PLR products.
Okay, PLR products. Okay, so you have a video of the most common question about PLR products, and I don't know what that is because you know I just don't.
Yeah, I've got
What would
lots
be
of
a
videos
common
like that.
question be? Huh?
Got lots of questions like that.
Well,
Absolutely.
give me one. Just give me one.
Probably the one of the most popular ones is how to take a pre-made PLR product and end to end, basically what I'm asking you now. How do I implement this end to end? So I
Okay.
have a video that's like a tutorial style.
Perfect, perfect. So you know exactly what people are wanting. So what we want to do is have a purpose of the video so that we understand what the purpose of the video is. Well, we want to give them enough information that they would want to get some more information until they buy your product. That's basically your end goal, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the beginning of the funnel is what content would resonate well with them, giving them as much information as you possibly can and them wanting more. Okay, so that's what your video needs to be about. Once you go to that video, I would skip the fan gate and go directly to the call to action,
Okay.
which would be, it could be any squeeze page. It could be saying, hey, get your, whatever that offer is. Okay, and basically at that time when you do the squeeze pages, you're doing some tracking and segmentation on the people that are watching the video and the people that literally click the link. You can really identify that and segment the list out of people that actually done that.
Okay.
When they land on the page too, you can see how many people land on the page. You can set a pixel and drop a cookie on that, where people, you'd know, okay, these are the people that actually land on the page, and then you can actually have your call to action, which is, hey, get your free 30-minute training, whatever, on PLL products. It's free. They go ahead and enter their name and information. We can literally bypass the shopping cart. It will add them to an autoresponder, and then there will be a success page too, where you can actually set another pixel saying all these people have gone through the process. So now you can say, do you know what? I can literally send out a couple things. Number one, I can retarget them through Facebook and also YouTube pre-roll videos. And I can say, hey, you've landed this, but you didn't finish with the transition. Well, maybe there's a reason why, and you want to find out. Or they've successfully done it, and you can thank them through the newsfeed or thank them in a video. You're able to create that relationship very, very easily. So that's how you basically implement it. And it's very simple to do, and you can do it for anything. The only thing that you need to do is figure out what's going to resonate well with this target avatar, because that's what the video is about. It appeals to the target audience, but if you're going to get the target avatar to take action, what would appeal to them to go through this process?
That's perfect, because I do some retargeting, remarketing, what have you, but it's usually on a launch page, and it's kind of a narrow usage of it. And I see people doing it better than me. This is awesome. Like I see Tom saying that this is an awesome aha for him, but it's true. So hopefully everybody listening,
it's an overused word.
it
awesome.
is, but I say it all the time. I'm guilty of that, but it really is. So we're allowed to say it this time. So hope everybody watching actually got this. If you don't, let me know, and I'll make sure that we go back through and really come up with some specific scenarios.
Let's just take it through a simple approach. Can I just do that? I like breaking it down. I don't like questions, because this is one of the most important points that we're getting at. Okay, now let me just go ahead and break down a few things. So we'll just do the redheads since they're on my radar right now. So let me just give me 1 second. Let me just pull it up in YouTube, and you'll be able to see the.
Somebody's asking what the success pixel is. That's if they take action on whatever it is, they land on the page that kind of shows to you that they took action. So if it's an opt-in, they get to the thank you page.
So if they landed on the thank you page, that you'd add another pixel saying that's what the success pixel is. Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's just something it's a little code you put in your WordPress site.
Yeah. So okay, here we have a little video. Pharrell Williams cover of Happy. Okay, and doing with musicians is a lot tougher to get some call to actions. Okay, but I want to take you through the process. So we'll go ahead and skip the ad here, if I can skip the ad, and I'm going to go right to after the video's done, getting close to being done. Okay, so anyway, they come on, and there's multiple call to actions. They can subscribe, they can watch the other video, or they can download Happy. Okay, that's the free gift that we're giving away, because what we're trying to do is build a list. Notice that this has almost 100,000 people that have watched this, and they're relatively small. We're still trying to build their audience. This one has 220,000. Okay, for that video. We're just getting ready to really ramp it up. We had to do some testing and identifying our audience. But let me get to the end here. But once we're here, we can actually take them through the funnel. So we'll go ahead and click on that. This is what's happening right now. I want everyone to understand. This is our landing page that we have. Okay. And it's one that you can get from lead pages. I like lead pages. They convert very well for me. And I don't know if Justin has something with them, but you can. But basically, it's the call to action. Hey, free song, get your free thing of the Redhead Express. We need your help to share some happiness. What makes you happy? Okay, we're trying to engage them. When they come on, they're talking about, hey, help us out. They kind of tell their story. They're telling their story a little bit, okay, which is very, very important in building an audience. They need to know why you're doing this, why you're giving it away, so on and so forth. So you can go through this process. So we're saying, hey, why don't you share on Facebook? So what we're doing right now is we already got a YouTube view. We get another view from them watching this because it's auto played. Okay, we're encouraging them to share it on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and then they can get their free offer, or they can just bypass and get their free offer. I don't care. Realistically, what's happening is I'm setting a pixel down right now that I can track them forever now, or for 540 days. And I could care less really realistically about getting their email. I'd like it, but it's not my end goal right now. So we go ahead and click on this. This also sets another pixel. I can know people that have actually come to this level and not have on it, because some people will bounce off the page. I want to know who comes on this page. They'll put your first name and last name. Man, I can't get to the success page, but let me think about this for a second. So they go ahead, hit the Facebook share, subscribe on YouTube, and let me see if I can get to the success page. No, it's it won't let. I'll have to add some information in. So basically, it gives you multiple steps. So we have a success page, which is a thank you page, which we've locked it down so you can't even get to it at all without going through the funnel. But anyway, unless Justin, you want me to use your information.
Well, that's okay, because I just wanted to also warn you that the webinar is actually, I think there's a hard stop at 12:30, so
Okay,
we can skip to the rest of it. I see a couple of questions that came in. I don't know if you want to hit them now really quick, or do you want to wait till the end?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that the most important thing right now is what you're trying to accomplish with this. Everything's about building a community that will consume your content. And even if you're a blogger, you want to build a fan base of people that look forward to you releasing the stuff and go from there. So I think Sharon was asking about how do you measure all these, just the Facebook pixels or other tools? And
Yeah, because there's perfect audience, there's ad roll.
Yeah, so let me tell you what I use. The simple thing that I do is I set up universal analytics, number one, okay? And you set up different tracking, so it's coded on your website that way. If you use something like lead pages, you definitely want to throw that JavaScript in there so that there's universal analytics. Then I tie my universal analytics account with AdWords, and then also I tie in my YouTube channel with AdWords that pulls everything together. So you're gathering all this data. If you don't know about universal analytics, just Google it. You'll figure it out. But basically what it does is it starts profiling individuals and categorizing and giving you the ability to create list segmentation from the traffic that you're generating. The next thing that I do is I put in perfect audience. I add that pixel. I've been using them for years, and so I think they're a great thing. And then I'll put in several pixels for Facebook. Even though perfect audience does Facebook, I want it separate because I use it for separate things. And I'm good to go. After that, I don't generally do anything else outside of an internal pixel that we actually use for Infusionsoft. But that's proprietary. I can't really go into detail on it. But other than that, that's basically the types of pixels that I like to drop, and each one of them, you have different stages of where you can drop them to create a segmented list. Because what if you could actually just reach the people that want your stuff, and you don't even need their email? That's what this is all about, is sending it out so that it only resonates with them. I can literally launch a video and only show it to people that I want it to see without even, there's other people that can discover it, but only the people that I want to see it will actually see it. And I can do that through all the stuff that we're talking about. And it's super powerful, especially in launches.
Perfect.
So,
There was another question you might want to hit it at the end. It's regarding people getting YouTube accounts banned and a worry. You put a whole bunch of work into a YouTube account, do something wrong by accident, yet channel gets pulled and all your work's gone.
yep.
Do you want to cover that
Yep.
now, or do you want to hit that later?
Yeah, let's cover it now, and then I'll go into the elements of
Okay.
building a
And
video.
then there are some other ones. So for those of you that ask the question, I'll definitely make sure we get to that. But then I'll let him answer this one, then we'll keep going.
Yeah, so don't use anything that's not yours.
Fair
Period.
enough. Yeah.
Okay, if you don't own it, there is no, oh, I can use 2 seconds or I can use 8 seconds. No, you can't. Don't use it, period. You can get away with parody. Parody is a very gray line, and you can get away with some of the stuff there, but you cannot use, the song or anything like that, because there's different licenses that get involved with. So music, the only music that I would do is royalty-free music that you can say that's royalty-free. The one that I use is from Audio Jungle and also Apple. Other than that, I don't use any other music out there unless I have the rights to use it, and then I actually upload the rights so that they know that I actually have the rights, so I never get banned from it.
I've seen
But
some student works that use that fair use clause. Is that something you should stay away from?
They can use fair use clause, but keep in mind what YouTube's going to do is they won't be able to make any money on it. So if their goal is to make money off of their ads, that's fine. Fair use, you can use it, go right ahead, but there'll be an ad that plays. Even if your channel's not monetized, it will still play, and you will not get a penny from that. It's called match content or content ID.
Right.
And they've worked that out so that the people that actually own the licenses get the money. And so I'm just telling you from that. Now, you might say, mine's news and informative. Well, that's fine, but you can clip that out. But still keep in mind that is a concern that you'll have to prove that that's what it's for. And they usually side with the bigger boys, just to let you know. So that, or put it on a different platform that doesn't do it. So let's move on real quick, and I'll break this down. Let's get into how to build your videos, because Justin was asking, well, what type of videos do I actually make? And for me, it's all about two things: who your target audience is, and also your strategy that you're actually using, because there's different types of videos you want to make. But my goal is ultimately making videos that my target audience would love and share. I really want to take them through the process that they're actually sharing that content, because if it shares, it increases my reach. Remember, that was one of the main goals. How do we increase reach? Well, the shareability of it. Okay, so how do you actually do that? Well, you can do it through understanding who your target audience is and your avatar. See what keywords are actually trending, and you can start, and topics that are trending. Like I just did a video on real-time analytics that you can get it in YouTube now, that you can see live what's going on, and honestly, you formulate a way to captivate that audience through that video. Okay, so I want to be able to do certain things. Now let me just give you the formula real quick, since we're running out of time. It's simple. You want to capture their attention, you want to add some branding, keep them watching, and have a call to action. Okay, and it breaks it up in segments. So the first 3 to 7 seconds, you really need to hook them. Now I have examples of that. I'm only going to show one. I'll show two. Let me just show two real quick. But it's really grabbing their attention. Both of these are ads. Okay, and I like to do it as ads because they're really grabbing their attentions.
Ship my pants. Right here? Ship my pants, you're kidding. You can ship your pants right here.
You can skip this ad, but then you'll electrocute this puppy.
Okay, that was simple. That was brilliant. Literally, you had the person's attention enough that they'll watch the rest of the video, or at least a big portion of it. So you definitely need to understand that it hooks. You need to hook them. You need to bring in some optional branding. Branding can be as simple as just a lower third, that you can have different branding, different things that's there, just different icons and stuff like that. Or you can have a video bumper, which I'm not going to show you. You can watch any of my videos to see that. It really depends on what the purpose you're trying to accomplish, okay? The next is how to keep them watching. I've seen analytics, and I've seen people that consume content and they watch it for 10 seconds and then they jump off. The reason why they leave is they're either bored or it's not the information that they want. Okay, so you need to keep them watching. You always need to think about it. Is this too long? How can I, if I'm interested in this, what would make it more interesting? And literally edit it down. I would do that with content that you're reading. Yeah, not everybody wants to read a discourse on something. They want some very succinct information that you can do. And ultimately, you need to figure out what content's going to actually appeal to them to actually keep them watching in a thing. So whether you do 2-minute videos, 7-minute videos, 9-minute videos, I have a client that does 3-hour videos, and they keep an audience retention of 185%. That means people are rewinding and re-listening to different parts. They're very engaged, very active. You just need to know how your audience will react, and you can do that through analytics and decide, oh, they didn't like this part, because you can see literally when they start dropping off. And you can start editing it out, and the more content you push out, the better that you should become if you're looking at your analytics. The last is call to action. Call to actions are very, very simple. It could be, hey, go to this website, click here, or subscribe, or your call to action would be, hey, watch this other video because it's on the similar topic. So basically, this is the formula that you can do with any of this. And what I want to do, Justin, is answer your question that you had from the beginning. Are you okay with that? You said what video would be more effective, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the question with this is, and you literally need to break it down on what you're trying to accomplish. And I will tell you the correct answer, okay? So if you're trying to accomplish to build a list, you don't have to be on the video. You can do it from there. If you're trying to sell a product, you don't have to be on the video. In fact, there's a lot of people that do not want to see you because they automatically judge, oh, this person's not that type of person, so you don't have to be on the video. You can do it as a whiteboard video or what have you. However, if you're trying to build a brand, and i.e. you are the brand, then you want to be on every video.
Right.
Or pretty dang close to every video.
So that's the ultimate question, is what are you doing personal branding? If the answer is yes, which a lot of people that I talk to, a lot of people that are my subscribers are, because they're experts on whatever topic, then they're accustomed to writing, then the answer really is, you need to push yourself in front of the camera and get used to doing that. Even if you're not good, start practicing and get in the habit.
Yeah,
get out of your comfort zone and do it.
I am not good. I'll be honest with you. I'm not good. I'm getting better. I'm not good. I'm not a professional at any of this stuff. My goal is just to have as much, interaction as I could. But I want to go to my channel just really quick, just so that you can see this real quick. I put a link in there to my channel to actually subscribe. If you're interested, you can click on that. But I was able to grow this channel in a short amount of time. My goal for this channel, before I even started, I planned it all out. I knew what videos I was going to make. I knew exactly what I was going to go after, was to be the #1 video marketer talking about YouTube on YouTube. And I wanted to do that in 1 year. And my goal was to get 10,000 subscribers, and I wanted 1 million video views, which would have beat out almost all my competition except for 1 or 2. And so I launched January 16th, and in a short amount of time, since January 16th to May 16th, I had 10,000 subscribers and just over 1 million views. So I actually accomplished what I was going to do in a year in that short amount of time. So I re-upped it, wanted 30,000, and I was able to squeak by and get 30,000. As of today, I'm 64,689 subscribers, and I'm looking to get 100,000 subscribers by February 16th, which would be in less than 2 years to be able to get 100,000 subscribers, which is a huge accomplishment. There's only a few channels that have ever done that and have consistent content out there. Okay, and mine's more training from here. I have videos that have been watched 775,000 times, almost 1 million right here. I've had other videos that was watched over 1 million times, but I took it down because YouTube says it broke the terms of service. And if I wanted to be certified, I just want to make sure I'm in compliance with it. And so it was how to actually download a video off of YouTube. at
So there you go.
1.2 million.
So even because I know that question came up a few times in terms of copyright or following the rules, even the gurus like Derral sometimes
Yeah.
forget.
Well, I
So
mean, the analytical point, let me just kind of go in here and let me just pull it down, but you can see right here, my lifetime views is 8.2 million, and it was
wow,
one video that made up the difference. It's just crazy. It's
yeah.
crazy. So,
So
but yeah,
everybody,
guys,
please go and click that link and go to and it's youtube.com/, what is it, Derral?
yeah, just you can go to youtube.com/. Derral Eves. This one, if you
Yeah,
click on it, it'll automatically subscribe you. I'm just warning you
perfect. Yeah,
before I can give you the other one,
yeah.
which is fine. But if you're interested in this type of stuff, I have a lot of information that's coming out. Let me give you the other link because there's a lot of people that don't like to be forced opt in. And let me just go ahead and post that in there as well. So you have both of those. But honestly, I eat, drink, live video marketing and YouTube. So if you're interested, go ahead and subscribe to me. I have a lot more information coming out, and I'm going to be working with Justin specifically on helping some of his stuff. We actually have a couple webinars coming up, and
That's right.
I'm
Yeah.
looking to do it. So
Yeah, and I hope Tom's okay with me reading this, but this was an awesome comment. He says this webinar has given me the all-time killer concept for a revolutionary way to hold real estate open houses. I'm not kidding you. So he's pumped. That's awesome. I love, and there's the word again. But I love
awesome.
hearing stuff like that, and I knew that this would happen because every time I see you speak, Derral, even when I just watch your videos, this is the kind of stuff that happens because you're giving us information that, quite frankly, you just don't hear anywhere. Like just that one slide with your, I forget the term that you coined, the viral bait
Viral
thing.
bait.
That phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's if you saw this presentation and you're not doing that, what are you waiting for? We every single one of us that watch this needs to be doing that today.
Yeah, and the whole thing, Tom, too. Let me just tell you, I know the real estate market really well, and it's more about that short list. And so my thing is, if you can get someone to watch a video or go onto a website, you can literally remarket the heck out of them until they become your client. And you have a smaller window with real estate, so if people are actually looking to purchase, like on an open house, you can literally have them pull out their phone. I'd literally have them pull out their phone and do something right there. If they're coming in, I mean, they're taking time to come in, have them go to one thing to get your information that they can click and it'll add to their phone, and you can pixel them right there and have stuff go in their news feed. You can have videos that actually come up on YouTube, and you can hit them from every direction because ultimately they need like 7 or 8 times of touches before that they'll actually convert. And if you can put them in a funnel, then you literally are killing it, and it is a killer concept.
That is
So.
amazing. So for those of you